we are going to try to entertain you with a little story called The Ravens and the Widow Spider. This is a children's tale that shows friends can be made, no matter what. A raven makes friends with a spider, an unlikely friendship. This happens because of the things they do. One day a raven flew into a barn, because the weather was turning cold. He yelled,
"Spider, spider, where are you?"
The spider replies, "I am here in my web far above your head, in a corner, safe from your beak." The raven said,
"Spider, spider, come out, and let me speak to you."
The widow spider, being shy of birds, said, "I'll only come out to speak with you, if you promise not to eat me." The raven hesitated for a minute, then he said,
"Spider, I promise not to eat you today."
The widow spider thought for a minute and then answered, "Well, then I will come out to see you, but only for today." The raven laughed.
"Spider, spider, can you weave a web thick enough to make me a coat?"
The widow spider answered quickly, "I can. But this will cost you 2 flies and a cricket." The raven started to get angry, raising his voice.
"That is a tall price to pay for a coat, don't you think?"
The widow spider said abruptly, "No, Mr. Raven, I do not. I need to eat if I am to make such a large items. If you eat during your hunt, then I won't have to worry about you eating me." The raven started to pace back and forth, thinking. He said,
"Well, okay, I'll do it, but you weave me a large coat, a warm coat."
The widow spider said, "I will weave you the warmest, best coat anyone has ever seen." The raven flew out of the barn and off to find 2 flies and a cricket for payment on his new coat. During the time the raven was out hunting for food, the widow spider was hard at work weaving a new coat for the raven. It took the spider 3 days to finish the coat. When the coat was done, the spider took it back to the safety of her corner. When she got there, she found 2 flies and a cricket trapped in her web. The raven had snuck them in over the last few days to surprise the widow spider. She was so tired that she could not wrap her web around her flies or the cricket. The spider took a nap, and when she woke up, she spun her web around the flies and the cricket to preserve them for later. The raven returned the next morning, and the widow spider said, "This is the best coat I have ever seen for a raven." The raven looked it over. Then he said,
"Wow. I like this. It will keep me warm during the coming snow, but perhaps I need a hat to go with this nice new coat."
The widow spider said, "I have just enough web left for you a hat, after I rest for a while." The raven asked,
"What do you want in return for the hat?"
The widow spider answered, "I will make you this hat, and you will not eat me while I am alive or after I have died." The raven thought for a few minutes, then he smiled, saying,
"You won't know if I eat you after you die, so I will agree to this."
The widow said, "No, I won't know, but I will leave a bad taste in your mouth for telling a lie." The raven laughed and said, as he flew out of the barn, "Make my hat."
We shall see what happens.
The widow spider ate, and then she rested. She slept for one whole day. When she woke up, she started working on the hat. This took another day. When she was finished with the hat, she lay down next to the hat and went back to sleep. This was hard work for a spider. When the raven flew back into the barn, he went to the small corner where the widow spider was living. He had found a red cloth on his journey and brought it back with him. As the widow spider lay sleeping, the raven pulled the cloth from his pocket of his new coat and laid it over her. He took his hat, placed it on his head. The raven said to the sleeping widow spider,
Thank you. I will never eat you. You are my friend.
The raven flew away from the barn on to his next adventure. The end. If you like our story and have not subscribed, please do so. Thank you.